The dream in Quidan's mind was how on earth, entire high-rise falling one after another, dust blowing into a storm. Num- Numerous citizens fleeing, fleeing as they cried, yelled, and struggled, and that nothing could be done. The ground began to shake violently, tearing into numerous cracks. Lava began to bubble and crackly from underneath, while an immeasurable amount of demons with a terrifying, otherworldly face slowly crawled out from the cracks and cracks and began to swallow up the humans. Blood was everywhere. The ground was covered with pieces of limb, limb and organs as the boiling red-hot lava continued to spill out, pouring up all the stone until they turned swing into a and the gray sky and slowly darkening with black cloud growling past until you couldn't even see your fingers. Kyuden was in the middle of the crowd, but he did not to hide nor evade, letting the lava swallow him up, swallow his blood and his bone, covering his face with both his hands. His dark and twisted eye looked through the grass toward the wall that was slowly falling apart, piece by piece, and he let out a quite loud, a loud that only illuminated how sick to be born he was. Before the demon wakes up, no one knew he was a demon. Before this boy, he had never drunk fresh blood because he didn't know the taste of it. A deprecating victim with low self-esteem who has suffered too much has died, and another even more terrifying diamond was about awaken. He was swallowing the world and also himself. In the split second, its entire city, this entire city, this was suddenly not its color. The air slowly filled with the smell of smoke and corroded metal as a waft of heat blew past. Yet just as the last light of the sky dispersed, rain suddenly fell down. There were small droplets, but heavy and dense, gently and weak. If it had color, it would be pale blue, just like the corner of the sky as it was being washed anew. In the moment, the burning heart faded away and the lava flowed back, leaving only peace and quiet. The lighting in the storeroom was very dim, and Quentin's breathing deepened for a moment before he was suddenly awake. Opening his leaden eyes, there was nothing on his side. After a while of focusing his gaze, he finally realized that he was sleeping again a very warm night, and his life was filled with the faint scent of might. In, interspersed, interspersed, interspersed with the smell of cigarette smoke, quick, smell very good. He was so comfortable that it made him incapable of remembering. Quentin closed his eyes and then reopened them. This time he could clearly, clearly see a book dangling above his head, one that had inky back cover with two small words in white. To life. Recollecting his book, his finger twitched. He silently grabbed the book with the hand with fallen down nails, marring the white sheet of paper with dirty stripes. The blood. Perrin had gotten quite into reading it, so he did get quite a jump scare from this. But when he realized that Quentin could be awake, he moved the book out of the way out of habit, and then was frightened again by the wound had half of Quentin's face. That wound was so deep that even with the anti-inflammation medicine, it looked quite terrifying compared to the other hand of the face. It was like heaven and hell. Quentin suddenly seemed a bit beautiful, like a perfect jazz piece without even a single piece of dust, suddenly broken with a crack. It made others look upon him with regret and pity. Awake? Perrin packed up the contents back in the bag and blanched it aside. The actual fan was spinning non-stop, splitting up the blood-red sky outside into bits, so he could only tell that it was the morning of the second day by looking at the watch on his wrist. Quentin moved his cracked lips soundlessly, as if to say something, but because of the high fever yesterday, he was unable to speak a single word out. He looked up toward an exhausted It's all fun. His eye reflecting the blood red sky above. Quick illuminate his pupil with a strange light. That it a split moment is what back to that heavy darkness, withdrawing any kind of human emotion. Pirin knew that he was hungry, so with one hand around the back of Quiden's leg, he particularly light him up to lean against his shoulder, grabbed the water bottle out of the bag and used the lid to slowly feed him water one ladful at a time. Watching from the side, Joe coming probably thinking that Piran was quickly hypocritical. Knocked the metal, took his head on the floor, rhythmically, each time that could only hint at whatever he was dreaming up. There was still more than half a bag of chocolate cookie left inside the bag. Whatever cheap brain it was, so overwhelming, sweet with a sugary aftertaste, a taste that made you immediately lead to close your throat and your eyes. When Piran just arrived, he had taken a small bit and then hadn't touched it again. So when he saw a bag of cookie, he could feel his stomach rolling over. So without hesitation, he fed it to Quiden. The face of this young man was like a perfect drawing, like an ink painting, timeless in its delicacy. There was feeling that couldn't be shaken up from him, a feeling of this depressive gloom. Quiden did not eat the food half stuffed to his lips, slowly opened his eye. He measured peering up with a dark and heavy stare. After a while, he moved his lips, spitting out, and that was split into multiple syllables. Why? The whole is what incomprehensible. Piran paused for a slight moment but didn't reply. Taking the chain, Joe coming slid into a conversation in a tone filled with malicious intention. Why? Huh? To fit you well, to make it easier to X. A smile filled with venomous thoughts come upon Jukangming's face. Piran smiled fakely at that and then lowered his head to look at Quiden resting in his arm. He started him as if he were looking at the beloved and continued to feed him cookies, elongating his side-lips. He said, feed you well so that I would feel better when we ache. We ache. So you better eat it fast. Piran was a womanizer. Female was a womanizer. In his spotlight, so malicious jokester in his DNA could not be stopped. He told that Quiden yesterday with a kind of strength would probably cut his head right off, willing to starve to death and not catch. The fat grips sound of the cookie. Without words, Quiden had bitten off what was in Piran's hand. In the matter of one night, he had visibly changed, as if he was the embodiment of an endless abyss, unable to see the bottom. Quiden lowered his head so no expression could be seen, but from how furiously he was devouring the cookie, it could be seen how strong his survival instincts were. How strong he desired to live was seeing the beautiful half of his poor face pulled up, slightly like a squirrel. Piran suddenly felt some sort of interest and had quit the partisan to continue feeding him, but Quiden only ate a tiny half-bit and then stopped. Piran said, "Eat! After all, it's about to expire." Quiden looked back at him and saw Piran's gently expression, a pit lady without much frustration and any kind of darkness in his eye. It was so unbelievable, so out of this world that it couldn't possibly belong to this world, but in hell. There was a viciousness to him as Quiden ate, no emotion to his face, and lower eyes as they trailed silently, the mouth full at the time. The kind of strength used as he ate the cookie was more as if he was trying to alarm on human pawns rather than pack the goods, causing the wood on his face to real pain. Piran was too lazy to even move his part. He threw the empty bun of cookie from his hands. Not even slightly anxious, at the loss of his foot softly and then patted his leg silently from Queen to lie on him. On young man did not seem to care for anything anymore. He silently moved back to lie in that embrace filled with a faint strain of might, and closed his eyes, as if even if Piran were to rip out his clothes of him, do something in form of others people, he wouldn't have a single reaction. But Piran only ripped open two anti-inflammation tables and sprinkled the medicinal powder on his face. His actions were quite meticulous, just like how his face had that glintless about it. He then opened his eyes for a brief moment before closing them again, not letting anyone know what he was thinking about. When Piran finished upping the medicine, he had one Queen to stand back up, but upon finding that Queen has shrunken into a ball, his entire body looking very tight. He didn't have a heart to open his mouth. He couldn't only keep this awake position and continue to read the book he had not finished reading. The blood ray shone on the page, illuminating a sentences in black and white, but also covering it with a faint layer of bloodless human lip on the sake of living and not for anything else. In the midst of the ducks dancing in the air, someone's stomach grumbled. Joe Cumming looked left and right but couldn't figure out who he was. He stood up from the ground, the long mantle top still in his head, and paced back and forth like a little before his thought. We have used up our supplies, and we can just sit here waiting for our date. It has been so long that the skies outside are still red, and it probably won't change. I'm familiar with this air, and not far away from here is a gas station and a supermarket. To avoid any other people emptying it all out. We should do it ourselves. There was some shock to his words, so after his speech, bodyguard Feng Tang stood up as well, evidently planning to head out and find provision, including the two delinquents. It felt as if there was an acknowledgement and stuff in the extempore of power. Saying this, Zhao Kaoming nodded his head in satisfaction. There is a van outside. I found key upstairs yesterday, and there is still floor. Enough that we can go. So how about it? The woman stayed behind. The men head out. The girl named Gigi nervously grabbed onto the arm on her boyfriend's, shaking her head with furrowed eyebrow. Sang-yan, don't go. It's very dangerous outside. Sang-yan comfortingly pat her arm, but then stood up, evidently agreeing with this proposal. The only one with no reaction was probably Perrin. He sat on the floor comfortably, using the book to block his face, trying to escape the catastrophe that Zhao Kangming was trying to bring down onto him. Who knew that before Zhao Kangming could even make a complaint? Fing Tang was the first to furrow his eyebrow and say, "Young Master Ben, are you not planning to go out and find provision? Find provision, or go let him be fodder." When experiencing extreme fear, Pirin, this illness body in battle, did not have that explosive severe instinct like other had. Instead, his head shocked and his legs weakened and wobbled, as if air had suddenly been pulled down of him, like quickened stand, and could not hold its step to walk a single step. Where the final destroy was to lie there and wait for death. Besides, he did not recognize any of these people, so would be willing to save him in the face of death. Seeing how Pirin was not speaking, Fitang lifted up the book away from his face. This slight action immediately showed how feeble the master-servant relationship was. Not going. Piran lifted his head, his eye clearly displaying one thing. Yamete! No! Stop it! Zhao Kangming glanced at the gun on Piran and then up and down his body. Weirdly enough, he started to smile. It's fine if you don't go. How about this? You let me borrow your gun. I will count that as your effort, and I will split you a portion of the provision. So, in other words, Those that don't make an effort will have no provision. The middle-aged woman, sitting silently in the corner, suddenly raised her head up in fear. Though Kang Ming still remained courteous. At this time, for one, Piran had a gun, and secondly, it was because Feng Tang still had no explicitly so quick come his side with, seeing that Feng Tang already had that kind of one the friend's attitude, the gun absolutely could not be given away, because this was a toy gun. Piran lit up a cigarette. Even in the room, they could faintly hear the scream in the zombie outside. He spit out the smoke ring and shook his head. There are no more bullets in the gun. He spoke the truth, but Joe Cumming would not believe him, thinking that Piran was just making excuses. His face darkened slightly, and he said coldly, "Then you will not get a share of the provision that we find." Piran had not experienced true starvation or hunger yet, nor had he been through the harsh trials the apocalypse. In his eye, not eating for a while meal was not a big thing. In his life, he had been lazing at home, mixing up his internal clock. The longest time where he had not eaten was for 2 days playing games, so missing out this time would be breezy. He was just going to say, "If there is none, then fine," but the hoarse voice suddenly rang in everyone's ear. "I will go." Quill then stood up from Piran, his steps still stumbling, but perhaps because he had some food in his body. He did not look as if he was as weak and powerless as yesterday. Quick his back against the wall, his overly long back covered the stub blades in his eye. With lips that were still a bit pale, he repeated himself, "I will go." Piran was facing up toward the perfect side of Quidden's face, and from this angle, Quidden looked so very lean and clear. His nose brighter, was high. His bone structure very good. If he went to university while wearing a white tee, he would probably be immediately coupled as the most attractive guy on campus. That kind of style. Your Kang-ming's expression took on a mocking turn, and he asked derisively, "You are going to?" And then said, without waiting for an answer, "Fine. Unless you are a man, better than those that won't go." Piran couldn't tell that he was referring to him, but didn't mind it. He only felt that with such a weak finger, Quidan, you better not be pushed by anyone to be fed to the zombie. But then the main character shouldn't die. He hesitated for a moment before saying to Feng Thang, Have looked after him. This is my golden ticket. He can die. Feng Thang looked a sign of agreement to the promise. After Piran said that, he looked over at Quidan, but who knew that he would just meet up with the other Grace. He himself did not care to improve his abilities, but he wasn't on to hold others back just because he himself did not care. After all, the protagonist had to face half hardship to level up, so Piran did not stop him. Instead, he only said to him, "Be careful outside," and then grabbed the book he had just been reading to continue reading. Q then stared down at him from high above, but he couldn't only see his ink black hair. Sang Yang was not willing to move, however, and stared at Piran. "When we leave, wouldn't there only be one man left? You?" Piran understood what he was trying to say. He was worried about his beautiful girlfriend being forced upon by him. The flipped a page, not even raising his head to say, "I could also bring your girlfriend with you. You could also bring your girlfriend with you." A flush over Gigi's face. Sang Yang's face became very constipated. It was full of zombies outside, so how could he bring his girlfriend out with him to venture? Seeing them not leave, Piran impatiently live his eye and said, "I'm gay. Don't like women. Happy now?" There was a moment of awakeness hung in the air, and Sayang subconsciously looked over at Quidan, but he only saw Quidan's emotionless face, and he couldn't tell what the other was feeling. So he scratched his nose, believing Piran was 70 and to 80%, and finally took his leave with John Kang-ming and the other. The moment they left, Piran lighted up his head. Although Quidan was the main character of the book, the good left in him was from top to bottom, all the way down to the bones gone. In the latter half, he killed zombie leveled up, and collected gun into his harem. He skilled out, he skilled out, he skilled out of this war, when he was at the pace that some survivors greeting the sound. He was even able to make it up to the high guest level of management, although his actions were quick like those of normal people. Piran could still clearly remember what was said in the original novel that covered his current situation. This war had not given him one once of kindness, so Quitan did not see humans as his equals. He used generosity as a cover of himself, but he was like a demon wandering about the human brain. In other words, the main character was actually like a villain. Those who tried to use him hung onto this golden lake. Was there really you to it on long at all? Piran couldn't remember the details of the novel, only able to remember the major events, no matter how much he tried to recall. The most memorable was perhaps the elemental skills. When the apocalypse exploded into existence, when the zombie virus was rapaging, though the entire world, when because of the law that those who were stronger lived, humans were also adapting to this new world and evolving. In the midst of them, some would suddenly come down with a fever, and if they were able to survive it, their bodies would explode with an elemental skill from the inside. Those who could not survive would turn into zombies. The new elemental ability were the electricity, plant, water, fire, ice, mental god, word, psyche, and spatial ties. The one with the most attack damage was the electricity type, whereas the most mysterious was the physics type. The one was gave the most safety and comfort was probably the spatial type. Up until now, Piran had never come down with a fever, so in this sort of life, he probably wouldn't have an elemental skill on his arm. If he must grumble it all, he probably could only go out and let zombie beat him. If he was able to persevere persevered. Surviving that bit, he would be able to attain a skill, but if he couldn't, he would become one of the monsters being outside. It was very easy to check if Quiden couldn't. Quiden could be used as a golden lake. He just needed to see if Quiden would be willing to say some provision after he come back today. If he did, then it meant that he still had some humanity in him and he hadn't turned back yet. But if he wasn't, then Piran could only keep on starving. He had a book to read, so passing the time was very easy. But Gigi and that long woman were evidently in state uneasy. The two of them were whispering with each other, but only faint sound would occasionally float over to Piran's ear. The long woman was a sociable person and tried to get more familiar with Gigi. Young lady, how are you? You look so stylish and fashionable. Gigi abruptly said, You can just call me Gigi. The long woman kept talking. Me, I'm actually just 35 years old. You can just call me Wang Ji. My men died from those monsters outside, leaving me so lonely, alone and helpless, with no one to look after me. Unlike you, your boyfriend treats you so well, even willing to go out and find food. Gigi could just about get her meaning, and she turned her body away in response. He looked outside. Though the window and switched the topic. Why are they still not back? They left so long ago. They had indeed left a long while ago. About 6 hours now. In that time, Piran had already finished the entire book. He glanced at his watch and then flipped back the way to the first page, continuing to read the dots. If he wasn't in the ropes, every second, every minute that tick, Gigi's heart felt like it was being fanned with fire. She carefully walked over to stand in front of Piran and hesitatingly asked, What time is it now? Piran glanced over at his wrist. 5 in the afternoon. The worry on Didi's face deepened. When did they head out? Oh, okay. 9 in the morning. Didi's face paled dramatically as if the air was sucked out of her and she fell onto the floor with a loud noise. Piran confronted her with no sincerity in his voice. There won't be any issue as they faint tongue. He retired from the military. As if to prove his word, they could suddenly hear the faint sound of the car engine revving up in the distance outside. Before long, there was a smattering of footsteps coming closer, and right after, there was the loud sound of the store door being opened. Gently, silently, the return the Joe coming and the rest of the group. Gigi ignored the heaven expression on their face, pouting her lips and falling into Sangjan's arm. Tears were almost falling down of her eyes, and she said, "Why are you only back now? Scared me to death." Sangyang tightly hugged onto Gigi, but he didn't speak. Eight of them were holding a bag that was filled with provision that had already been split between them. The parent left his eyes and seeing Kyudan looking awry. He ears up slightly, but then he found that something was not quite right. There was one person missing from the group. The Dilly Queen with a mohawk did not come back. At it, sensing Piren's gaze, Pitang walked over and sat in his previous spot, using a glove to whip some unknown blood stain on his arm. With a loud and heavy voice, he said, "Where pumped in a zombie what, and that kid did not run, so he was eaten." Gigi's face paled drastically. Piran didn't have reaction as it was the apocalypse. It was normal for people to die, a lot of people even, and besides, he wasn't that close to the Mohawk. After the events today, everyone was starving. They all sat down in their spots and began to eat. The middle-aged woman looked left and right, but seeing how no one thought about sharing food with her, her face looked a bit off. Pitang saw no sign of sharing his food either, but thankfully, Piran was not that hungry. He sat on the floor, folding a paper airplane. Just as he became quite content, he suddenly felt a weight on his chin. He looked down, and someone had put a can of fruit and a bag of cookies here. Prince's hand suddenly let go, and a paper airplane floated down onto the floor, landing just before Kyudan. The latter paused slightly just as he was about to grab some fruit. He grabbed the paper airplane and opened it up, only to find that it was one of the exams from his stone bag, the one with full mark. Facing up to the dark eye of Qden, Piran shamelessly gave him a thumbs up, smiling happily, and as he said, "Your marks aren't that bad, huh?" And at the same time, he was so emotionally overcome on the inside, crying tears of happiness, thinking that he really did not hurt the leg for nothing. Look, didn't he just get food and water? This only made him strengthen his desire to follow Qden. Piran did not like cheap food. Food hadn't been prepared to meet certain standards, but he could still accept fruit for a can. Just as he was about to open one, he suddenly felt a numbness pass over him, as if he had just been electrically shocked. At the same time as this feeling passed, a cold, robotic voice sounded out in his brain, a voice that only made him want to punch the speaker. Ding! Dear Hans, how are you? The action that you are about to do is against the rules of the system. This is the first warning. The second will be the more serious warning, and the third will immediately cost you your life point. Please restore your bro life. That did not come to it so easy. The galaxy's self-reliant, self-sufficient system has been entirely our bottom line. Our rules to follow is to be self-reliant, self-sufficient, and repatriating equipment. My dear, my street test history is it the user